No, thank you very much, Ntate Malapis. We did very well with time, that by 4:30 we should be out here. So it means I will take 10 minutes. I just want to, as you were speaking, Chairperson of SALGA, with the colleagues who were also re-emphasizing 155, as opposed to 154. I think the 154 emphasis was in particular on service delivery interventions. We also know that we've got 106 and others which are intervention, which at the most it's support, but not necessarily service delivery driven. But maybe for purpose of completeness, it's important then to also elaborate more on other provisions of the law for support, so that when we go to EXCO and approve, it's a whole inclusive interventions. But when you were speaking, I was just thinking at the top of my head of a father and a mother and a daughter situation, where this daughter is 12 years, 13, 20, 21, and so on. Or at what point is this child stopping to be your child? And at what point are you able to withdraw from authority over this independent child who is a grown-up adult, who from time to time will engage in different activities independently, but when he goes out of line, the authorities still remain to say you are out of line, and if possible, punishment can be meted. I'm just thinking of that between municipalities and provincial government. In that context, I'm not sure it's sophisticated, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to explain. Yeah, I know you can contest me, but I'm saying, I was just thinking about that arrangement. And that's why the law is very clear in terms of the independence and the interdependency and the interlinking. The law is very clear, there's no confusion. And at what point is an intervention? So interlink, interdependent, and interventions are, the law clearly states who does what. And now personally, I respect the independence of the municipality, but it must not be opportunistic, that when it suits municipalities, they are independent. When they are in trouble, there is a father there that you always say he's not doing anything. So don't remember and forget the father at all instances. So if you are independent, don't remember the father at any stage when you are in trouble. But the relationship is very clear. We are one and the same, independent, but we are central to service delivery. But thank you very much. I just wanted to mention that point. But also just to start by saying, I think Tuntsale Role should be, just before I close, I'll speak on what I also observe and just my input. Tuntsale Role, for me, should be part and parcel of the DDM approach, the intergovernmental framework relation. It's not an isolated process. So it's important that we must be able to explain it even to a local office of a provincial government. So for them not participating at the level of intergovernmental forums, I don't understand, because it's still in the same spirit of Tuntsale Role. It's in the same spirit. It's in the same spirit of accelerated service delivery. So we should, as we institutionalize DDM, it's important that we must understand that DDM is actually premised on intergovernmental framework. That's what premise DDM. And Tuntsale Role is an acceleration of that arrangement, so that people must get services at an earliest convenience, so that we make their life much easier and so on. So I just wanted to start with that one. But also, Program Director, it's important that we must indicate that we are in trouble in as far as disaster is concerned, especially the flooding part. I think what the mayors are saying, we should agree that, like I discussed with you, that lack of reporting, lack of coordination becomes a problem. And so that we should be able to comprehensively respond where practically possible as a province, so that at national level, when there is such a need, we are able to adequately be able to respond. So I'm happy with the report that we have received, that the department insists with that arrangement, but the level of commitment at times of some of our departments who are supposed to be critical to this process, municipalities, you are caught wanting. So it's important. We know that schools, di na le challenge ya gore di petlele, di kolobile, dikolo di rutlulugile and so on. So it's a collective responsibility. So it's important that at least latest by Monday, MEC Mulapis, we are able to have all departments, especially those which are affected, and therefore we are able to comprehensively report through our disaster management so that this thing becomes very clear. The next thing, Program Director, is the appointment of MEOs. The report we got from IEC is that out of 18 municipalities, only four, huh? Or only eight have MEOs. And some of the municipalities, their problem of not having MEOs is as old as 7 years back. The mayor and the speaker of a municipality, they are unable to call a council, resolve on a recommendation to IEC of anybody in the municipality, not necessarily a municipal manager, but it's ideal. You can't, for the past 6 years. Now, if you can't just get into a council and recommend an official to be an MEO, ke eng se o ka se kgonang? Ke ra hela gore ke eng se o wa go se kgonang? But I'm just worried. So it's important. We have given him assurance. I asked the MEC, do you know such municipalities? He says yes. We have written letters to you. Please appoint an MEO. An MEO is very central and key to an elections. We are going for local government elections. There are processes that are unfolding, and you are unable to catch up with that process because you don't have an MEO. So we are appealing to you. We are appealing to you, mayors in particular, ensure that you gave them a deadline, that deadline is respected. So I want us to pass that one. I don't think we will remind you at any point on this matter, which is in some of your municipalities is 7 years old. You see, there is a process that is starting. We're the first province to engage with the demarcation board on a number of issues. That includes issues that of municipalities deferred for proper consultations and engagement. And we have a situation here of JB Marks and Ventersdorp. And that process is unfolding. So Major, it's important that the communities there, the council there, you are engaged in that process so that you must not be caught nappy. When tomorrow there is a decision that Ventersdorp is no more part of Potchefstroom or JB Marks. So it's important that that process must not be left unattended at the council level, including at the community level. But also there is a process that is unfolding of a white paper on local government review. Because there is a realization that we might have missed a particular step when we establish local government. So there is a review of how we are structured, governance, finance, and so on. So we are supposed to participate in that process. Now, I think most of us here, we may be holding different views around how local government is run, from structure to governance to finance and other related issues. So I'm saying that process is starting next month. So it's important that when that consultation process starts, we are part and parcel of it. Because you are better experienced, better located for you to give a meaningful input, including even political parties. Because most of the time, majority of us, we participate late. Kore ha gote license di expire ka 2030. Ra go ya ka 2030 ka the last day. When you were given 5 years to just change, just go and queue and change. Maybe I'll fit out the first person. Marwa go tla ka the last day only number 130. The attitude towards participatory democracy. So it's important. But there is also an electoral system process. If you recall, there was a challenge on participation in the independent candidates in an electoral process. And it was found by the court of the law that it's actually legal to bar independents from participating. So this is the last election where we are elected, the manner in which we have elected. Because the president appointed I'm not sure it's a commission, that is going to start a process of allowing people to make inputs for this electoral system come 2029 in Nebia. When it starts, also that process, let's participate, let's prepare ourselves, and that process also is starting in the next 2 months. So I was just raising this as you are an important organ in terms of this process. And you public representatives, you are leading people. So it's important that you are upfront, you are at the forefront, you are able even to lead and guide our people. That it's important for them to participate. So that when a conclusion is reached, or this is how the electoral system will now start to work, we are able to be saying, no, we participated in that process. So I just wanted to raise those two important issues. When SG was presenting the financial outlook, I think what we should accept as a reality is that the economy is not growing at a point or at a level we expect. And therefore, if it's not growing, it means a number of challenges for us as a province. Ordinarily, like he said, we would expect us to perform averagely or at the same pace at which national is performing. But it will not happen when globally there are these challenges that we face, because we are competing generally in a global world. Now, if the economy is not growing, it means we are reliant on grants. We are a province that is relying. We are just a municipality. We are just like a municipality that is relying on grants. We does not have a revenue base. But he also showed us that actually we've got sufficient, not adequate, but sufficient money to take care of ourselves. Because it's just like Trump when he announces withdrawal of funding. He's actually withdrawing the United States people's money. But in essence, what's America? He's just withdrawing the American money. So we must be able to learn to be on our own. Now, I was just saying to people, in health, that's a typical example. This funding was only helping 3 districts. Dr. RSM was not benefiting from PEFA funding. But they survived as a district from a health point of view. Equally so, just like other districts which have funding. So we must use that. How did Dr. RSM perform when it's a district, same community, same people, not using that funding? So what I'm saying is that, yes, it will have an impact, but it's important to know that you have a country, you have your money. The big question is, how are you using your money? How adequately are you using the money correctly? Because you can use money, but not using it correctly. There are people who are earning 2,000 rand pension fund monthly. But some of them, but us who are earning 20,000. Because they are not reckless. They are not going all around here. Now, so I'm saying, what is important is how you use the money and for what. How are your priorities? So I don't remember the billions, SG. How much between us, a province, and the municipalities? How many billions? Cumulatively? 85 billion. 85 billion that we have as a province. When you get a report in terms of expenditure pattern, what was said by the mayor and the chair of SALG, are you investing the money in the province? Are the people of this province benefiting from that 80 billion? Let us just take a typical one example of one municipality and say, how many contractors of the Northwest benefited from your MIG or from your infrastructure grant? Northwest, just on a percentage basis. We received the report from Treasury. We are not doing well in terms of assisting our own people. But we understand that South Africa is a one country. South Africa is open to competitiveness, and therefore we cannot bar other people from other provinces to participate. But you've got a responsibility of your own. You've got a responsibility of your own. There are other commodities that you will not get in this province. It's a reality. But we have isolated all the goods and services that are found in this province, but you still procure them outside the province. So it doesn't make sense. We have a responsibility, politically and administratively, to take care of the people of the Northwest. We have been elected by the Northwest people. I'm saying, where practically possible, we must help the people of this province. Where we don't have the capacity, we can then extend it to other areas. It's important. It's unacceptable, actually, to say the least. So we are in this position of power to help the people of the Northwest. And I think we should emphasize that point. So that expenditure pattern must also go to the designated people. To the designated people. So the amendments to the procurement policy, it's important to take note of that amendment. It's important in our municipalities, in our provincial departments, to ensure that we bring policies that allows us to be able to assist veterans, to be able to assist people with disability, young people and women. And that amendment flexibility allows us to do that, and we must develop such policy and agree on a particular percentage so that we are able to measure quantitatively the impact we are doing to such designated groups. So I'm saying it's important what was raised in this meeting, that it must happen. Also, we know that our revenue capacity It's not at a point where we say it's good. We are struggling from a revenue capacity point of view. So much as the purse is shrinking, we should stand up and aggressively have revenue capacity strategy. How aggressively are we going to ensure that we recoup whatever is not possible. So I'm saying it's important that we are able to be encouraged, especially on revenue enhancement. So you utlile o lela chairperson a salga ka di PERs. Wa bona generally it's us who invite problems. If we were functioning well, we will not send PERs. We will not even do what is called, what you call the FRPs. Can you not re-invite her? Because you create problems. So I'm going to appeal to municipalities. Dirang tiro as expected. Don't invite the provincial government. Because there are municipalities indeed which are doing very well. You know, we had a meeting with the AG. There are 3 municipalities which are doing very well from an AG point of view. These municipalities must get clean audit. And I said to AG, I want you to make a special focus, get in now, as much as you are in 6 months before the real term, get into these municipalities. Just make sure that they get a clean audit, so that we must be counted amongst provinces that have municipalities with a clean audit. And you will know, generally, you've got municipalities which are getting clean audits in the country, which are districts. If we can just get one local municipality with a clean audit, and Moretele is a candidate. Moretele is a candidate to get a clean audit, followed by Dr. KK and Bojanala district municipalities. So those 3 municipalities must be helped, MEC Finance. I don't want regression. They must get clean audit. So that we should not be known only of wrong things. Once in a while, provincially they have succeeded. There are 3 departments or so. Also, for the first time, there are municipalities in the Northwest with a clean audit. So if we can do that, it will be very helpful. The provincial growth development strategy, including a report of panel of experts. I think where we are, it's a working document, much improved from the previous ones, and I think it's time now that by the end of March we should approve them. But they must still go back and engage further after we have noted them here at the level of the Premier Coordinating Council, and finally en route to EXCO for approval. Because I have a difficulty of us even having a DDM, one plan, one budget, when we don't have a provincial growth development strategy. Because from where I'm sitting, that should be the navigate. We should be able to say, let's aggregate whatever should be given to Dr. KK, Dr. RSM, Bojanal. What are the economic drivers here? What do we want to do to unlock the economy here? And identify them. And say what is needed here. It's a road infrastructure, it's a rail infrastructure, it's a human settlement, it's what, and so on. What investment are necessary here? Be able to put them. So once you put a plan with one budget, one focus, I will then be happy at that stage for Libuaka DDM in what na I believe in. But as long as it's in Tulutsaya, for hey, human settlement, what would the Raga 200 kai, Kumucheding, or when Ragatsila couldn't really coach. Okay, Kisa 10 billion, 20, only one plan. From where I'm sitting, we have just put some plans of individual departments into one document or one plan. That one plan is not informed by any economic strategy going forward to unlock using the potential of that district. So planning is central to DDM, planning is central to one budget, planning is central to one plan. And that plan should be directed at a particular direction so that re kgone go tlhalosa gore economically re a go kae and re batla go achieve. So I'm saying that's what I wanted to emphasize. So our PGDS and our expert panel report finally should be by the end of March at EXCO meeting be approved for implementation. So it will be enhanced by all what has been said here. They are also going to refine and also make some additional inputs coming from this setup. So for us, at the level of EXCO, we'll finally approve it. But I've taken note that you have raised very interesting things that we must look into. Issues that relate to massive public employment that we need to look into. Industrialization should not be a concept. It must be unpacked. Unpacked, clearly defined, and implementable, and in what and where. So it's something that I know that the advisory council is busy dealing with. It should be able to give it to us so that we are able to tell the people of the Northwest where are we going to industrialize and industrialize what. I think there's an emphasis also on partnerships. We will not succeed without partnerships. So I know that certain departments already have started deciding on partnerships to ensure that government succeeds. We will have to reposition the province through special economic zones. I think it's something that has been clearly defined. But the capacity of also of our municipalities in terms of managing indigent registers, you know, we are doing a disservice for ourselves on not being able to aggressively take opportunity to ensure that majority of our people who are indigent are able to be registered, and they, as such, we are able to get the money that is necessary in terms of the demand on the ground. So municipalities must be able to develop very aggressive indigent registration so that we are able to respond adequately to our people. Now, alignment and development. You know, we can't do what is called touch and go. You know, touch and go. We get MEC for social development, you get MEC Lenkopane, MEC Public Works. We get contractor development, or we get cooperatives. We train them. After that, we leave them. Nothing. Until the day in the Northwest where I see a company that was Kiabomme, that was trained to do the bricks, or a butem bakery economic development, or baba lemang the vegetables, or baba dirang any other economic initiative. After that, they are not contracted to any. Mutunale baker, social development, erakaborotoko shop right. But there is a person in the locality who has a baker, done by government. Why are we not able, this person, as apply boroto, could the hospital, could the clinic, go center renta social development? Somebody, agriculture has helped him to have a garden, flourishing, a plot. This person, instead, he supply the hospital. Somebody has been helped, the uniform. But I supply even a single school. Could you call it Raja, Rabanadijo? But Hahuna Opo supplying, Rakakobo, my friend. Rakakobo, my friend. How do you hope to develop our people when you are doing that? How? You're not touch and go. Ekibuangayo. Kore uhiti. Otlabwa hapo mwana lenle. You're not compliance, malicious compliance. We have trained 300 people for what? You don't give them off-take contracts or nothing. They are not contracted to supply anywhere. So I'm saying development of our people until we have done alignment in terms of interventions that we are doing in the program and link them to services, terms goods of services of government, to support them for 2 years or 3 years, and later they can diversify on their own because government has put a foundation on such people. Then we'll say as government we have done something. But we train for 6 weeks here and therefore we spend 200,000 on your development. It's a problem. It's just the same as training young people and we struggle to have placement for them. Because once we train young people, we should be able to speak to the industry, we should be able to speak to departments, government, municipalities. If we train artisans, Baku Dr. RSM, there should be municipalities, Babaring, now I've got 5 positions set aside for artisans, ba plumbing, ba motlakase. When they are done, we place them there. But we can't create people for the market by law they cannot be able to be utilized in the economic value chain. It can't be. Some of them will later develop into business people, yes. But we should be able, as government also, to assist. So I was just making that until we have reached that stage, as municipalities and provincial government, there will be no reason for us to be excited. We'll also have to look at our energy transition or our energy mix. I'm looking forward for municipalities to be able to get into that space. And I know former MEC, former Premier, Acting Premier Nonoma Law used to talk about this and have meetings with a number of municipalities. But you are not coming on alternative energy. You're not coming to them. I'm also challenging, if there is a municipality which has state land, any state land, public works, municipality, if you can just give me 200 hectares of land, we've got investors who are ready to come here with alternative energy. They just want a land where it has 200 hectares. And that capacity will not only be utilized in your municipality, it will all go all over the province. So I'm available for any municipality that is able to say, now we can provide. Rekansi MEC for public works. State land, 200 hectares, I want it. If I can get it, I'll be happy. Investor is ready to open the purse. So let's utilize such an opportunity. But I think, lastly, Motsamai Satir, the last 2 part issues of ensuring that we have an improved, capable state. And when you unpack that, it goes to professionalism in terms of the manner in which we do our business processing, corruption, and so and so. It can be us, which has a potential, where we have a potential of corruption. A municipality has 600 million unauthorized, wasteful expenditure. In 2 years, they are at 1.2 billion. So batho ba o re ga bana motho wa go ba thiba. I can tell you, in 2 years, they have doubled irregular, unauthorized expenditure. You can ask finance. We can ask you, no, ebe mo le ndlela, re ba bontshe. Di teng, and you know, agree to your municipalities, you know. In 2 years, you have doubled that thing. Or you have no intention of going back. So, chance mo nga go stop. Otherwise, you are a disaster. You are a moving train, which is very dangerous. And I've said to Provincial Treasurer, we need to zoom in here. Because that thing borders on serious corruption. Because people have used or circumvented processes. And I can tell you, AG audits you on your standard operating procedures. Kwa na utlang umora hore nna mo ke operator ja. Ga sene, ga go setele standard. It's you. Gore le bereka ya mo wa mo bolelela, this is how I work. About okay, Tlisa. Matata. In some of you, there are no documents. No documents, no records. Then in that business as usual. Mayara, Tududu, we debate. We debate. No documents, no file. Marmadio nata mail. When you go and look at the product, show the work, nothing in some instances. You can't. You can't be entrusted with the state resources and you are unable to put mechanisms of accountability. You can't. You can't. It's even worse when you have a municipal manager appointed in 2 months. Mudim. Yeah, 2 months. Gone. So we have a problem. Now I'm merely saying you can't. If you want to have an improved SOEs, improved, capable state, icon, we have to change the way we do things. And lastly, we need also to ensure that we have safer communities. Safer communities. Whatever we do at our level, arrest. Your relationship with our municipalities is important and our communities. We can't live in a country where people feel unsafe. Then there is no need for us to be calling ourselves a nation. There is no need. But I was just merely saying, it's important that as we do all these things, we ensure that at all material times, our people should be at the center of what we are doing. Then I will say, Program Director, those are my few observations in as far as listening today to the discussion, how this discussion unfolded, and I'm very happy because it was a very interesting debate, and I think I rest my case here, Program Director. Thank you very much.